Hi, my name is FOA and welcome to the Love in Focus, the podcast for moms where we explore, discover, build community with our only child. Let's get going. Okay, you know what I mean. Let's start with the program. Oh my goodness. Hi, so I'm so happy you're joining me today. Yes, for my podcast, Love and Focus, building a community with our only child. And my name is FOA. So I'm so happy that you're joining today because I'm talking about lessons that I have learned. Now, I've only have now 7 years, 7 years of some of the lessons that I've learned about being an only child. I'm not the only child. My daughter is the only child, and me being the parent. And one of the things I've started to notice about myself and what I've learned is how I communicate with my child when I'm in the wrong. Now, I don't know about you or when you are wrong, how you go about it. Do you just brush it under the, like, I said I was sorry in my mind? Or if your child calls you out and you're like, well, I told you how many times you didn't listen. And so lately, if I say the way I come across to Olivia, and bless her heart, she will say, Mom, I did tell you about the situation, but you weren't listening to me. And one of those, and I'll tell you what happened was I picked her and her little friends up and from school, and they're all coming over to our house. And Olivia was trying to tell me that her leg was sore, that she had a bump at school. But her other friend was telling me, oh, I need to get so and so. So, and then there was another little girl with us. And I've got her friends, and I'm just trying to get to the car. I picked these little girls up from school, and all I'm trying to do is get to the car as quickly as possible because it's a windy day and it's very, very cold during this time. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, but I am not paying attention. I'm not really looking at what Olivia's saying. Nor am I really. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, what? I have three little girls speaking to me at one time. Now, Olivia, when I got them all in the car and they're all in their seatbelt, they're buckled in and everything, then later on, when she goes to bed, she goes, Mum, can I tell you something? And I'm saying, sure. And I totally forgotten about this whole day, what happened in the afternoon, right? And she's like, Mum, I was trying to tell you about my leg. And I was like, what about your leg? And then she said, I was trying to tell you, Mummy, that I hurt my leg and I couldn't walk that fast, but you weren't paying attention to me. And then she told me how she felt during that time. And I looked at her and I went, you know what? I said, and I apologize. And I said to her, darling, I am sorry at that time. Mummy was in a rush. And I didn't give you the time to really tell me this. You needed that space to say, Mummy, just listen. I know everything's going on, but can you just hear what I'm saying? And I said to her, darling, I'm sorry I did not acknowledge what you were trying to tell me at the time. And I did not give you space. And I didn't even look at you. She goes, no, you did. You just went, yeah, move along. And then she said, you paid more attention to the other child that was with us, her friend. And then I thought, wait, are you annoyed because I paid attention to the friend, or are you annoyed that I paid attention? So then I started analyzing when she was talking and I said, hold on a minute. First of all, what is she saying? And then she's opening your heart to her. She's opening your heart to me. She's opening her heart to me. And then I said to her, I'm sorry, do you forgive me? And I love you. And she said, she always says this, unless I really push her buttons, but 99%, 99.9, my daughter's like, She says, Mommy, I love you and I forgive you. But the times when she doesn't is because, boy, I have really pushed her buttons the whole day. And then her comeback is, I'll think about it, or not right now. Or she'll say, Mommy, I just need some time to have space away from you, something like that. And so what I learned is when I get annoyed, as you may wonder, really? Do you really get annoyed? Or I'm not speaking because I'm either in a rush or I'm really tired or I can't be bothered or I just don't have the patience or I'm really like, ugh. And the way I come across to her if I'm giving her instructions and she's trying to say, hold on a minute, what? You just told because Olivia, uh, she's really awesome, but I know what works for her in some ways. Like if we're going somewhere, it's best to say, hey, we got 5 minutes, just letting you know, or I give her warnings. But if I say, let's go get ready, she's like, what? And it doesn't always work out. So I know there's some things that works well better for her if I want her to go somewhere or me eye contact is very important for her. So if I'm looking at her, I said, okay, is this what you're saying? Uh, I give her the space. And then I do my best, but I find that when she's taking a while to trying to explain herself, I will just put in those words for her. Sometimes I find myself, I will finish her sentence and I'll be like, well, this is how you're feeling. This is what's going on. And she's like, no, mom. And then I'll be like, is it because of blah, 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 A, B, and C? And this is because you just don't know how to interpret. Is this your interpretation of this conversation? She's like, no, mom. And so I have really learned, and I'm still learning, is to give her time. And I just got to wait for her to say, to process her thoughts and what she wants to share. Then when she shares it with me, I'm like, darling, is this what you're saying? Because then I have to ask her, is this, okay, you told me how you feel, and is this how mommy made you feel? Like I repeat it back, and then she'll say yes or no. And that's what I've learned. I'm not sure if I didn't realize how much I was doing it, but once I really just acknowledge how she's feeling in that moment and really be sincere about it and not rushing her and me taking the time to look in her eyes and then, go through that process like, I'm sorry, darling, and give her a kiss and a hug. She's fine with it. I mean, but, there has been moments she's like, she'll say, you've done it again, you did it again. And I'm like, hey, I'm a work in progress. I'm working on it. And I think she says something like, yeah, you need to keep working. I don't know. I can't remember what my faults are. Probably a lot. One day when she has a podcast, she'll do like a lot of my faults or whatever for laughs. Use it as a lesson plan. Who knows? But that's what I've learned is me not rushing her sentence to get it over and done with so we can move on, so I can go to sleep and I could have a good evening. And I had to tell myself, hey, celebrate that she tells you how she feels and celebrate that one, that she can communicate it in her language and not rush it. And then I'm like, you're an awesome mom. Like half the time I'm like, but the weather was cold and I had 3 little girls, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and all I want to get you guys in the car and live. Like, really? Did you really? Okay, you're fine, you'll survive. Because I would say that, like, God, you survived, you're okay, you're a survivor. It wasn't that bad. You've fallen over before. But I'm like, oh, okay. Let mama hear it out. Yeah, okay. And then I asked myself, was it really the leg, or was it really she just wanted me to hear her first and not her friends? And I thought, just let her speak it out. Why? And I really feel this is good for her and I, because now I mean, I don't know what the age is. I'm hoping, because I've only, she's 7 years old. Maybe you're listening and your child's a lot older. I'm hoping that she'll keep coming back to me. Like, I'll be her number one mama, her friend, to say, hey, this is what's really going in my heart. I want to share with you because I know you'll give me that space to share. And I've worked on it. Like, boy, I may not do laundry all the time, and you may fault me for yelling. I mean, she says I yell. Do I really yell? I don't think so. But her interpretation of my yelling, when she yells and demonstrates what yelling, how I yell, I'm like, that's not the tone. But then I thought, you know what? I am taller than her. So if I look at it from perspective of her as a child and me being this large adult, and I'm pretty got a lot of meat on me, it can seem like I'm yelling, like I'm a giant. Oh, pick up your clothes. So in that way, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can come across that way. And then I find myself, I say this a lot. I say, Olivia, I'm sorry. That's what I said, but that's not how I wanted to say it. And I'm sorry I chose that tone, because that is not my heart. That is, I mean, like, I want to say it that way, but because of whatever frustration or whatever I was going, whatever in that moment, that's not how mummy wanted to come across. Now, I'm sure there's been times where it's like, no, that's exactly how I wanted to come across. And I think my husband said, someone needs to go to sleep, or because he's like, mommy needs to go. Or Olivia will be like, okay, mommy, we all need to just give you a break because you're going hot. Your tone is getting really high and acting like a, I don't know. But for the most part, I've learned in this big whole episode, probably just two, is one, giving her space to express herself when she shares her heart, not rushing her. And the other one is the tone that I'm using. And I find out the more I say that, and I really do mean it, she's like, oh, I love you, mum. That's okay. And she is so quick to forgive me. Where, hello, if I did an episode with me and my husband, I'm quick to forgive him. Eh, let's just say she's a lot further ahead when I get annoyed. Where you have those moments. Am I quick to forgive my husband when we have a disagreement? She's a lot quicker and he's a lot quicker with me. I am working on it. I am working on getting there quicker. So I can give her that. And then she's all good. And that's what I love about her. Kids have such a sweet heart, and they're just so forgiving. They're so loving. I mean, I'm gonna say from my experience with my daughter, she takes on a lot, because not only am I the parent, but she's teaching me how to communicate, reminding me, hey, you're the adult here, I'm the child. So I need to be more patient with her, because hello, she's still learning, and yet she gives a lot of grace to me. And that's what I love about my daughter. And I'm hoping if she grows older, that she will say, how kind I was, how of a kind mother I am, and the conversations, heart conversations that she would say, Mom, I just love talking to you because I just remember as a child that you really talked to me heart to heart, and I felt like I could just come to you. So, 7 years old, I don't know what happens when they're a teenager, because depending who you talk to, and some studies, apparently some aliens come. I'm just saying, out of the aliens, and something happens to the brain. And then they're like, where's my child? Where's my loving child? Now they don't want to do anything. I pray that's not Olivia. I pray, I'm hoping we'll see with this podcast. Who knows from 10 years now? But I'm just saying, I did the best. I did the best I could. And I'm doing the best I can with the time that's given, with the resources I have. Resources meaning family support, husband support, and Jesus. Yeah, and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. And I wanted to reach out to you as well. If you're listening to this podcast and you're like, yep, I'm still learning. Or, your child's a lot younger. And you're like, really? Yeah, you're going to make some mistakes. But if you learn from them, and you really do listen to your child, because each, you know, your child's heart. You pray for them. You talk to them. You're really doing your best, and you want the best for them. And then it is a journey. Or if you have a teenager, you're a lot further ahead of your child's an adult. Hello. You're like, 4, you have no idea what you're talking about. Your child's at 7 years old. Well, you know what? You are welcome to leave a comment of encouragement. Leave a comment of encouragement, or email me. And just, you can just comment on what you're learning or some of the lessons. Oh yeah, and give me a shout out. Say, hi, I listen to your podcast and I love to say your name. Like, I'm always going to say Maureen because she's listening to me from New Zealand. So, hi, Maureen. Unless she fast forward this part, she'll probably, then I should say hi at the end. So that's what I wanted. And I wondered because I have a daughter, right? So if you're a mom with an only child and your child is a boy, I wonder if the conversations are different. That would be interesting. Um, because I have friends and we're having this conversation. They said, oh, raising boys is different how you raise girls. Yes, I know, but I wonder in what way, and how you have a conversation as a mom and son have a conversation as opposed to a mother and a daughter. And I haven't read enough about that. So I don't know. So I only know from my own experience with my 7-year-old, and she's 7. Sometimes I feel like they grow up so quick. And so time goes by quick, and I tell parents, oh my goodness, you have a little child, and it's true, they blink. You blink and they grow up. And a lot of parents would say that to me. They said, hang on to your child, hold on to them and spend time with them as much as you can because it goes by quick. And I used to think, what chocolate or what kind of soft drink or cup of tea are they drinking? Because when my baby was a little, I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just tired and it never ends. I'm just tired. I haven't had a lot of sleep. But now that she's 7, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, and the time being, because I was blessed, and I'm saying I am so thankful for me I was able, because one, I wanted to be a stay home mom. I wanted to be a stay home mom with Olivia. So I had the privilege and opportunity to do that. So I got to spend time with her when she was a little baba until she went to school. And then, but now I'm working part time. And that, is still learning as well. So I've had to, and I say this a lot. I'm like, Mom's tired. I got to go work. Mom's tired. So I'm really working on my language because I absolutely love what I do. And so because I use tired as an excuse, and I notice, am I still playing a lot with her? Like Barbie, she likes to play imaginary games with her toys, and and I'm the characters, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But for her, her love tank gets filled if we play like for an hour. It's got to be an hour or so, and she's good for the evening. If it's 2 hours, I'm like, oh my goodness, I really have to. And I love it in some ways, but I'm like, I just want to put my feet up. But I do enjoy it, depending on what we're doing. So, mums, I hope this is an encouragement to you. Please be encouraged that you are doing the best you can with the time that's given. And if you're learning from your mistakes, that's great. And if I hope you have someone to discuss it with. Like, yeah, I'm learning, if you can talk to your husband or find a friend or a family member that you trust, that is also going to be encouraging. You don't want someone to like, you're doing this wrong, and always and pointing out your faults. No, you want someone to encourage you that is going to help you, continue to be the best mom, because you are the best mom for your child, and you're doing the best you can with the time that's given. And so I wanted to encourage you that. And while you're learning and growing, celebrate your wins. Like me, I celebrate. And how I celebrated, I had a cup of tea, 3 cookies, I think a bag of chocolates, and then I might have had something else. But that worked for me. And then I told myself, I'm an awesome mom. I am an awesome mom. I think there's a song. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna say, I'm an awesome mom. I am an awesome mom. I am. Because I am doing the best. I am loving on her. I'm loving on my husband, and I'm loving on myself, and I'm loving on everybody. One day at a time. So there you go. Thank you for listening to my podcast. I will see you next time. This is Love and Focus, building a community one episode at a time. Thanks for leaving I was going to say a love heart. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you. Please email me, tell me what you're getting from this, and or leave your name, just like in my email. Just leave your name, and then I'll just shout it out like Maureen. Okay, love you. Take care and celebrate your wins from what you're learning. Bye.